Hi everyone, and welcome back to Plus Ultra Pitching. Have you ever found that you as a pitcher or you as a pitching coach are having trouble with your hip movement throughout the pitch? Most specifically, rotating our hips from this power K position to our finishing position, from an open hip position to closing our hips to the catcher at the end of the pitch. If you can relate, then the problem may not actually be in your hip rotation, but rather with your drag foot. So today, we will be talking about the drag foot. One thing that I've noticed happens a lot with my pitchers is they have a lot of trouble transitioning from an open hip position in power K to a closed hip position to snap the ball off and generate power towards the catcher. And I have found recently that the cause of this is not necessarily them not trying to close their hips, but rather they're unable to close their hips because their drag foot, so for me, my right foot, is sideways. Now, before I talk about why sideways may not be ideal, let's define what a drag foot is. When we are starting our pitch, I'm going to be talking about this from a right-handed pitcher perspective. So if you're a lefty, just know everything is in reverse. When we start our pitch as a righty, my right foot is on the front part of the mound. And as we go through our motion, we push off from our right foot. As our left foot lands, my right foot is going to drag behind it, almost like you're leaping forward. Boop, boop. But instead of the foot staying in the air, you're dragging the foot behind you. That is our drag foot. Now, one thing I see happen a lot with pitchers is their drag foot turns sideways before they pitch, which in and of itself is not necessarily bad. But what it does lead to is them landing in power K, and now look at the position of my foot. It's completely sideways, heel on the ground. And they drag their whole foot forward, which is very cumbersome. And it's really hard to twist our hips towards our catcher for a couple of reasons. First of all, dragging your whole foot is really heavy. Second of all, look at the position that this puts my knee in already. It's very uncomfortable to even just stand like this, truthfully. And then when I try to twist my hips towards my catcher, you really can't do that without putting a lot of strain on your knee. So pitchers who pitch with their entire foot dragging behind them, it's going to be really hard for you to turn your hips during your pitch. Which is why I really urge my pitchers to drag with just their big toe. Ideal power K position is going to look something like this. Big toe on the ground. We're not on the ball of our foot here, right? But on the tip of your big toe. And here, it's a lot easier for me to swivel my hips open towards all of you or close them towards my catcher. It also makes my back foot a lot lighter and easier to drag forward and backwards. And if you need yet another reason why I love dragging my toe and not my whole foot, it puts my knee in a much more natural and safer position for pitching. Now let's talk about a drill that I like to use with my pitchers to help correct this really heavy sideways back foot. I have found that the best way for pitchers to make the change is to feel the change first. We want them to feel what they're supposed to do. So I have my girls get in their power K position. If you are unsure what that is, we have a lot of videos going over it, but if you're a righty like me, take a step forward with your left foot, opposite for lefties. And so now my feet are staggered. My right foot, I'm gonna balance on that big toe, heel in the air. For this drill, all we're gonna do is practice dragging this right toe and right knee straight forward towards our catcher. Just like this. We're gonna do that 3 times. 1, 2, 3. After the third one, you'll take the ball out of your glove. We'll get in our nice power K position, and we're gonna snap that ball forward with the same drag you were just feeling. So that's progression number 1. You do 3 toe drags, and then a snap. Boop. Progression number 2, when you are ready, is you can start swinging your arm while you do your toe drags. So we'll start on our power K. Every time I'm dragging this back foot up to meet the front, I'm going to also swing my pitching arm through and pretend to pitch. 1, 2, 3. After the fourth one, just like the last one, we'll pitch. So those are 2 great progressions that you can do with the focus not necessarily on the snap itself. The snap is just for coordination, so you can figure out how it fits into the overall pitch. The focus is really on having your pitcher feel what the drag should feel like with just their toe on the ground and their heel up in the air, driving straight towards their catcher. And you should find that they'll have a much easier job opening and closing their hips. Want to make sure everyone thinks about that. Helped one of my girls a lot is when you're dragging your foot, you want to hear a really constant, if you're on turf, a really constant sound. So we want it to just be nice and constant and smooth from the moment you leap off the mound until the moment your pitch is done. If you start hearing like a an inconsistent or like a jumpy drag, that noise is an indication that your foot is kind of getting stuck behind you. If you're just dragging on your toe and it's really light, you should be able to drag it really smoothly and really quickly throughout your pitch. If you enjoyed this video and if you've made it this far, do me a favor and comment toe drag in the comment section below. It's really fun for me to get to hear from all of you and connect with you in the comment section. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel by hitting that nice subscribe button so that way you can get notifications every time we post a new video. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it so that we can help as many people around the world. And if you didn't already know, we do have a free newsletter available if you sign up at plusultrapitching.com. There, I give a little bit more details about everything we go over in these videos, but that I can't really get into with some of these shorter form YouTube videos. I hope I'll see you there. I see you in the next video. And just as a really quick summary, don't forget when you are dragging your foot, you want to drag your toe with your heel in the air. I'll see you guys next time, and as always, Plus Ultra!